Alright, so today, before we do get into some wonderful, lovely city skylines, as you guys can see, here is my current schedule of things that are kind of intentionally might be going on, except for today's, the Thursday the 22nd. We did not see anything uploaded yesterday, Wednesday the 21st, because I decided to stay home and do a few other things. Or I should say it was more like I was recording City Skylines a second time. Also, you might see tomorrow, Friday, the 23rd, you will see 2 episodes of City Skylines, including this one. Not 100% sure that will actually officially happen, but I know that this will be getting out eventually within the next week. So, the Sony versus Microsoft versus Nintendo kind of thing is a console thing, and I'm not going to base it off of more of the mobile stuff. I'll be basing it off more on the consoles itself, which does include generations of Sony and Nintendo versus them two, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and then throughout until current date. So it'll start with like the PlayStation versus the Nintendo 64, and then it would go into the next generation: PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox 360, PS3, and Nintendo Wii. And then it would go Nintendo Wii U, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, as well as the Nintendo Switch in that category range, is what I'm going to put it under. I'm going to say that right now, at the end of that video, or not at the end of that video, but during that video somehow, I will explain my verdict on things, but it's your guys' opinion. You guys have your own entitled to your own opinion, whether you like a Sony fanboy or whether you like Microsoft, whether or not. It's not my verdict. It's just seeing, okay, who has the better consoles of each generation. You guys will find that out as we go through. And you guys will be surprised on who the verdicts are for each system era and why. Okay? The only difference, the only thing that will be the less harder decision for me will be the newest generation consoles, because I haven't played much of those consoles to begin with to say, do I want it or do I not? Okay? And I don't own any of these consoles. Most of these consoles I do not own anymore. Okay? Except for maybe 3 consoles out of them at least. I used to own 4 of the consoles that I'll be mentioning tomorrow, but that's not what we're here today. We're also, the other thing that I'm going to say is that every Monday will be an RCT3 video, so I will be making an RCT3 video at some point this next 3 days. I think that's the next 3 or 4 days, because I might make it that Monday. I don't know exactly 100% for sure, but then we go into Tuesday, which we're going to start the Dungeon Maker in that sense. We'll start going through each of that area. Then on Wednesday, we'll come back to uploading City Skylines, and then Thursday, or Wednesday or Thursday of next week might be the Sony versus Microsoft video, or it might be Friday, and we might keep the Wednesday, Thursday City Skylines and Project High Rise to be uploaded then. But not 110% in solely going to upload that right away. These are just tentative dates. I'm going to try to keep as much as I can to them unless something changes otherwise. Mainly like this week right here, I have until this day to register for a thing that I'm going this week here. But I'm pretty sure that I am 90% for sure that I am not going anywhere at all. But in that sense, and it will be going, to let you guys all know, Project High Rise will end the 20th, 13th or the 20th, one of those two dates. It will depend on whether the Sony versus Microsoft, if I decide to get it Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Okay? And it goes, the RCT3, Dungeon Maker, and City Skylines will be going until August 16th. That's the last date that I will have these games being uploaded. Now, that may not be so true for this week here. The 14th, the 15th, and the 16th may change due to I'm going back to school, but you should see some videos up to date and up to those days in the near future. So let's get into what we're supposed to be doing today. I could have been loading the game while I was talking about that, but just to make things a lot easier so you guys don't have to see the monitor and you guys can see the game capture more efficiently, is that not just those dates that are naturally coming, it's the kind of in that sense, but I'm kind of down here. City Skylines may not take off the best way. In that sense, I'm trying to keep my videos within under an hour or less. Just to bear with me on that. If Dungeon Maker starts going over an hour, that will be one dungeon per video. If it's below an hour, and I've gone through one dungeon, it's very close to 1 hour, I'm going to cut the video. If it's gone a half hour, and I've gone through the dungeon at least in a half hour, I will go again for that time. It may take a little longer, but I will try to keep it within about an hour and 10 minutes, in that sense. I do have about within an hour to kind of get things done here because I have to go and return some stuff to the library. Now, you guys know that I upload these videos via the library. If I had a better internet here or at my house, or a little bit nicer internet, I wouldn't be going to the library because I would be doing it here. But because I don't have internet at all, I will be going to the library every day to upload these, and I may forget to do it that day. I've kind of focused on doing something instead. I will try my best to get these videos up and going. I don't want to be like I'm being judgmental here, saying that this is set in stone, and you guys are probably going to go down there in the comments and say, hey, these aren't set in stone, or that these are set in stone and these are to be uploaded during that day and you have to get them uploaded. And I'm going to say no, I'm not going to do that. Everything needs to be set up in stone as is. Right now, everything is not set in stone. It is there as a guide for me to upload. I'm 80% sure that I will be able to upload them nicely. So let's get into the game because I'm kind of watching OBS right now and making sure that everything's running smoothly. But as you guys can see, in the previous episode of City Skylines, we kind of started getting this interchange kind of thing, get it going, and we kind of had some stuff creeping up on us. What I kind of want to do today is, and we kind of got this highway going this way and got our unique little interchange over here with it. But what I want to do at this moment is I'm going to kind of get ourselves our next small pocket. Now I could actually, let's do this. I want to add a slight little bit of industry here and there, and then add a little bit of office space to right about there so that we can get a little bit around. Now let's make sure that they got water. Nice, they do. Kind of didn't plan that on purpose. This next thing that I want to do is get our road. Now, I'm not going 100% full way through. Now, there's something blocking our path, so let's do this. Let's go up by 10, and we're going to go all the way as much as far as I can get up there. Okay. The other thing that I want to get done today is we're going to go up as far as we can get there. Now, I'm afraid that we can't get it across there, but that's alright. I don't want to have a lot of connections on that road. Oh, because what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go every 10 units. Try and keep those noses matched. And then we're going to fully take the roads to fully fit that route. Now, what I'm going to do here is, once I get this done, I'm going to let it kind of slowly, that seems a little bit odd there, but I'll leave it be for now. What I want to do is we're going to take this small area up here, and I do want to connect our 4 line there, but I also do want to come over here to our parks. No, it's over here in the decorations booth. And I want to include our path of pavement to take us around. No. To go around this little booth here, so that nothing is being built upon it, but people can still cross over if needed be. I'm also going to do the same here as well. Let's go in a little deeper so that I can actually get this exactly correct. Okay. So we got that exactly filled where I want it to be. So I want people to be able to... Now I see that a lot of people are turning this way out on to this road here. And they're all going down to this route that way, and I don't like that one bit, so... But we have to deal with it, and I want to go through here, and we're going to kind of just put as close as we can to that pipe there. we are going to, because what I'm doing is I'm going to slowly let things creep in. What I want to do is let's bring it right between the middle of this area here. And then I'm going to bring it up to this point. It's alright if it overlaps some because it's nature. And then what I want to do is we're going to go here and fill it up to that point. Now, I do want to put in finish up our office space back here. And put in a full line of not commercial, but a full line of that there. I want to do is put a small line of commercial up in that area. And put the rest of this in here as kind of our office space. Kind of give this place a little bit of variety here. Okay. I also will add more office space along that line about, well, I want to move it a little bit far in and have a little bit of extra commercial over there. So, I'm going to, while we sit and wait for this to load up, I'm going to check my phone because I have to check my phone because, you know, my mom is more important to me than, you know, getting my games out there. Family's more important. Always prioritize family first. Don't prioritize gaming first. Don't prioritize your job first. Prioritize your family. If you have a YouTube, prioritize that as a family. Now, if you let your wife know, okay, that you can take a vacation, but your wife works, officially works, then you know, okay, or your husband, whatever, works, you know that you have time to go spend with family and go to, when your wife's off work, taking care of the kids, go take care of the kids with her, or whatever. So I'll be right back. Alright, so that wasn't very too long. I am officially back. It wasn't that extensive. It's just me to make up supper for tonight, so that's all. Now, let's go in and let's make sure that our education, our garbage seems to be pretty bad over here. But with that, we have this thing over here, and I don't know why. So we'll add an additional one over there. Let's check up on our health. Our health isn't too bad, but I think we'll wait to get our crematorium out and available for us eventually. Our health doesn't seem to be too readily, easily accessible to people, so I do want to kind of put a healthcare system down over here somewhere. Now that's going to eventually be moved. I also do want to use a Pokemon Center because I want to, if we can, use the SimCity Clinic, and I want to put a clinic over here as well. In this area, it will eventually get over there. Now, we're wanting to make sure that everybody has that equal opportunity to get coverage, because eventually we're going to go across the highway eventually, but we're not going to do that right now because we do need money badly. But I think expanding too much, we do need some office space, so I'm going to create a mini office district that's going to be, it's going to be having offices along this side over here. Okay, it needs to be a full 10 by 10, and we're filling this up with office spacing. We will add some more in that sense. Now, I do know that there is a road here, but we're still going to go 10 units forward, and we will see if we can upgrade. Right, eventually. So this little mini district here is, we're going to go up one more unit forward, one more 10 units, and then we will go fully down that way. We want to fill in that with office space. We have 2 full rows of office space. Okay. And then I do want to add in our commercial around in that area a little bit over here, not too much on the edges. Okay. Now our health clinic does, now this area is going to need that, but we also want to get the area folded. We want to get it to complete the circle of crossing into that side. It's not quite fully finished, but I do want to try to see if we can get it connected to make sure that, yeah, that pipe's going to look a little awkward there, but we're trying to get max coverage on it. And I don't want to have to spend too much on the coverage. Now, as you can see, that's our readily, steadily, fast growing pipage. Now, over here, there's also going to be a lot of that over here, and we don't want that. We want this thing, and that's going to need costs 20, and we want to build some more over here where along this side there is really no need for us to expand that further out. Oh, but that's where we will have a lot of our food. Now, I do want to check on our fire department and how badly that may be for this area over here. And I want to upgrade our road here that's going, I know it's a 6-lane, it's a road that's like right there, and I'm hoping that we can cross it over here. So that we can get it fully functional and fully processed. In here. Now we don't want to do it, well, and I think what we'll do is we'll do this way a little bit. I do want to fill in this little space back here with office, with not commercial, but more of residential stuff. So we are getting some of that stuff growing. We're not getting too far deep in. I do want to throw in the rest. No. Move that. That needs to be small end people. These do not need to be like hummed on upon. As nobody's we're having the low ep population live down there because that's where our farming, and having that right around in that area is farming, and leaving this area over here part of our and I want to go in and sure that we got these spots filled in to where people can live. And I want to make sure that all the spots that there's no emptiness. Emptiness at all. I'm going to definitely go in this part of that area there, take that out and replace that with commercial. Just a small smidge of commercial there. We don't want to over compensate for a lot of these stuff. Also, we do need to finish our connection over here. We need to reconnect our highway there because I didn't do this last episode and I needed to. And I want to make sure that the off-ramp is doubled. And it says that the slope is too steep for that doubled road. So we're going to need to see if we can do that there and then flip it. So that people can get off and on there as well. And as well as over here, but that's not too terrible for people to live around out here and get off and get down in here. I also do want to add a justification is because these people are getting off down in here. I want to do is return and degrade the road down. Not degrade it, but bring it one way that way, and then bring a second road that's going to go that way, so that then people can decide, and then we downgrade this road to a 2-lane road, and it will help decide where people can go. In that sense, allowing people, okay, can they want to get off and go that way, or they can get off and go that way. Now, we also do want to make sure that when we want to go to our information and replace our junction with stops at those areas more noticeably. Okay, so I think that should be good enough for, and then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahead and replace that with commercial. And then we can go ahe people to move out and about. Don't need a stop sign there because that's just going in. We do want to stop it, turn off lights there. There needs to be a four-way stop rather than I'm going to turn that one off. Lights need to be off there because that's just a farm area. It's not really, it's just that road there is going to be a and having it stop in that location there is not a good idea either. These roads tend to need to stop first more than not. We also can toggle make that prioritized. Make that road prioritized and go through. It's priority road, right? How can I? And this one's not to have any stop signs there whatsoever. Nor is those are allowed. Nope, those can't have it. That one and that one are to stop more frequently than the other ones to getting off. No stoplights in these off and on ramps. I would prefer to actually consider stop signs here more than I would apply of having stoplights in these areas. But this one seems over here doesn't need it as much, so I'm going to keep that one off. Hold on. There was a stop sign here that I can turn that one off as well. Because I won't need them. I'm just making sure that the circus rolls around and moves as we need it to be. And let's put those in with office spaces. A space. Now, what we also are going to now start doing is we need to make sure that the top ends of these district roads that are connected right there all need to stay one lane except for mostly one lane. So when connecting to that area, we don't want to so we do need to move you. I'm just going to move you down down a bit, and then we want to move. And now people are going to be mad at me for moving that, but hey, I'm just moving it. You still got your health care. Okay, now I do need to go and extend our district here. Take it more of like this area here to be extended. Now I do want, when we wait, I want to wait until we get the daytime to continue our Cleveland Heights, Cleveland District, or Oriental District will get changed eventually. We're going to have you to go in. And only in. We're going to place our final set of commercial there. And then I do want to create is another small indentation to go right about the edge there. And that's also going to get added with industrial space. Same with that's going to get added there. That's not. But to add a little bit of that commercial additional because we want to have enough expansion. I also do want to add a little bit there. It does seem that we do have connection there, but I do want to do is come over here and build us a small little sections. Add us a little bit of these around, not too much. Just to act as power heads there. Our power isn't doing so well, so I figured let's look at what we can provide for power. I'm going to provide for power because what I have in mind over here, we're going to remove both of those, and then we're going to take our hydropower if we can. It seems it only want no. No, okay, what we can do is let's go over here, we're gonna add in our additional water plant treatment in there for good reason. Because here's what I want to do is now, since that's gonna be flooding or whatever in the case may be, we want to add a hydropower plant. Trust me. Let's clear this little part out there as well. See, the problem I'm having is I want it to go flipped the other way. If we can. And I want to get this all the way over to where I want it to be, just so that it covers that area too. And I'm hoping that the water that we use inside there will not flood as intended. Is it to help keep the water flowing, but flow water out, and it will continue to keep sucking it in and out, and in and out, in and out, in and out, kind of thing. So that we still have that electrical power. May not be feeding the best of the power, but I'm going to put one of those inside there, to help feed our power problem. Now, our additional extension, I'm going to put in a very, very and it looks like that it is sucking it out that way, and I don't know why the water it's over flooding, I guess. So what we could do is, let's see if we can throw in another one of you, if we can. Let's go back into our water and hole. And no, water. And see if we can bloody hell add one in here. Okay, so what I'm going to decide what we're going to do is we're going to have to close these guys out of here. Now, people are going to be sick for quite a little while. But I imagine adding a little bit of those around will definitely help. Help in aiding the cause of it. So having those in there more than that, but I'm going to put in is a small water capacity. Now I'm cheating here in the sense of adding a small little water source here. Now it's not going to be the best water source because it is going to draining, but if we add a little bit there, it will add in Let's go with a little 10 sized unit here. I think that should be good enough. If we add that 10 there, that will help fill in that area there. And enough to keep our water flowing nice and decently, but also to suck up that water. I do want to throw in some more of these out and about. Throwing in okay, so water is good in expansion. To give us some more of that in there. Now we're going to have more water, but allowing the water there that we are currently allowing to maneuver around in will also be able to... I want to suck in at least about one more water pump in here. On that side. And it still allows us to keep that water where it needs to be, but I want to be able to make sure that that water that's going in and coming out can give us some electrical power in that sense. How much is it being... Hold on. How much is this being produced? Power output 0 megawatts. So I'm thinking maybe we close that off and see what we can... That water power, net water energy power needs to be flowing this way. And that's the way I wanted it to be going. Now I'm hoping that I want to be able to just to see if we can that water dam, and I think what we'll do is we'll just keep it that one way there. Just not really, actually we'll just close that off. So nobody can cross over if they needed to. They can't go across, it's just a dam there. Which doesn't surprise me too much. Okay, so now we've got third loan and a couple new buildings. Ship, harbor, cargo harbor, sanctuary, grass. Ours are kind of are getting closer. I'm trying to see where we can. So we're not getting too far off that ground of wherever we are going. So the next thing that I want to do is kind of start working on getting our suburbs on the other side going eventually. But I want to add in, yeah, let's actually do that. So what I have over here is this is a highway that I'm going to use for kind of a basis over here. And what I want to do is we're going to take that highway and we're going to kind of build a connection with our lovely junction, our 6-leaf clover junction that I want to use. Not here, per se, but I do want to see what we've got. Okay, let's do this. Let's cut that part out there and see if we can put that on there. And then we need to connect that up somehow. Just need to make sure that it's connected on that wonderful, lovely side. Now, that's an on and off ramp here. It's not the pinnacle of our on and off, but it does allow us to utilize the junction to having our little get and go thing. So what I do want to do is, looking at it, it's that we could set it up as a one-way where you're getting off this way, so we could have one way having a one-way going that way, and we're going to cut off the exits over here. What I want to do is cut off this side. It's only to go off that way and not come off over here at the moment. And we can make sure that it can't necessarily, if it goes on one side, I know that we have we'll go with a 6-lane one-way, because that's what seems nice to me. But we will rotate it to fit for it, and that one can go straight down that way, and it comes in and off in our little space. It's basically kind of like a roundabout in the sense. And then what we do is I'm going to take and we're going to use our normal Avenue Road, 2-lane, tree-lined road, and we're just going to freeform this. And we're not going to be like, this is kind of going to be like our little mini side district over here. And it's not going to be our best. That's going to be our avenue throughout the way over here. I do want to add and make sure that we are doing the grass-lined roads are going to go, and I'm not going to go like okay, so let's go down a little bit in further. All I'm doing is just making roads that go out near to the highway. There is no need for me to have 2 entrances to this little. I do want to I kind of want to have this road go out a little bit like so. Just bend it enough to go right around that area. Let's turn it back to freeforming, because I think I like freeforming better. But I don't want it to be like too dense either. I want it to be kind of out there and not like overly doing it either. I'm going to kind of do this one's going to kind of go in like so. And I kind of leave it like shapes like that. I do want to have one more going out this way over here where it starts getting. This is kind of where I want to kind of put my US district over here. Kind of have like a small little bit of shopping. Kind of put like a neighborhood Walmart over here. You know, Not too much. So that I kind of don't have so many off on here, is this area is kind of, I'm going to create is a second avenue off of here, is all. So, that's all it's going to have, is it's still going to be a freeform, and we're not going to go too far out any further, but I do want to go out to basically out to this far over here. This is going to be our little, that spot, but again, I still can't buy, hold on, we're not even there yet. Can I, in the, well, since I did grant city, we can go to the capital city, but I want to kind of do, is that's what we're going to leave for now, okay? I'm going to also kind of add our industry. Just our generic industry down here is going to be a full, is going to go all the way distance, is going to go, no, it needs to be our small, $10. I will connect that area up eventually, but I want to kind of get this, I want to kind of get the road all the way up to that point. And we're going to go, keep going 10 units to fill the area up. That's alright if it's a little overcompensating for the, and then we can take this road and we're just going to go there, and then we'll add in that in there, and then we will reconnect up that spot and there. And then, now that's not going to be say that it's 100% accurate, and I don't care. This cities aren't 100% accurate, and I did want to add in a little bit of that there. So now we're going to kind of get over here, and we're going to kind of go, and I kind of want to put like a little bit of commercial off over here, right off this highway that people can come in and go around and use. Okay. And then I think we'll go up to about there. Let's go over to our ploppable Rico settings and see if we can find our neighborhood Walmart neighborhood market. Because I do want to put one over here, and I want to make sure that we do have one of those in here. We don't want it to be the acceptable foundation that Walmart's in need of. We don't have power or electricity yet, but we will get that there eventually. And I want to make sure that sure that we fill this whole entire area. I think what we might do is just brush it. Just doing a brush size of it over here. Because if we do, let's switch it to the smaller brush, I guess, because it might be a lot easier if we do the smaller brush size. It's not going to be, okay, no, we go with the larger brush size. Over here, it's going to be mainly, there's going to be like very little of commercial, but what we'll do out over here is, I know people are going to complain, but I think what I can do is if I go here, because I'm not planning on putting anything over in this greened area but a wind farm. Wind farm there, and just adding that little bit there is going to help. Making this area will eventually grow up, but I do want to make sure that we do get the main outer area right up into that point right around Walmart. It's going to be our neighborhood Walmart, you know what I mean? And I'll put that little bit off the side road there. And the rest of this is going to be mainly, we'll put a little bit of some down over here. Here, I want to kind of spread out our commercial a little bit. It'll take a while for this place to grow, and I think we'll do some other projects in the near future. And I know what we'll do instead. I'm going to put this little tiny bit right there so that we can get power across to the city. We are going to need to get water down to these guys here first. And then we're going to need to get water strikes, the pose down into this area. This is going to be like a little mini suburb down here. And it's like, it's just going to be low-end housing and stuff. But I do want to make sure that we do get everybody has water down here. I don't want anybody without water. Not enough money right at the moment, but we can wait for that money to come further in. There, that should give us all of our piping in. Let's also make sure that we can get our power in nicely. This little Spectra Omen relay, I'm only going to use to branch off a little bit over here, because we do need to get the power flowing and getting the juices going over here. Using a little bit of that power relay there is going to help getting the power branched or bridged over to these places. I don't know why they decided to build over here, but who knows. Who knows? This place is going to take a little while, but I want to kind of get this filled up here enough. So what we want to do is I'm going to try and fill. They have a few little shops and areas over here, but not a whole lot. And I don't want to be too alarming. This place, I feel like, let's do this. I'm going to start from a point. No. I'm going to start from a small point over here. And just to see if we can get most of this area covered. And then just make sure that this small area over here is covered nicely. And I don't want to cover too much of that area over there right at the moment. I'm going to put in a small office area. Office area over here. There's not a huge office area. Getting a little bit of people to, you know, who have a kind of a office or who needs it over here, kind of have a little bit of a job over here so that we can kind of get people to grow and get our industry fully growing. Let's just go. I'm going to kind of give up to basically about this point up to here where there's commercial, and then I'm going to kind of throw a little bit over here. And then the rest of this down the line here is going to be a lot of our residential. Rest of the way. And I give them some shops over here to fulfill. I'm gonna kind of giving a variety of places down here. That is definitely going to go off into some other distance. But for now, I want to add a small little portion there. What I'm going to do here is check up on my time. Okay, so we kind of got our suburb started. We kind of got that going, and nicely. It will expand eventually. We'll be able to get there. I do want to just finish up the suburb in this building of this area. I'm going to add a little bit there. Having a little bit of office space and stuff like that. People are going to start growing and getting into this suburb. I don't want to sit here and wait too long to have people come into this city and not get along. People are starting to build over there, which we will get. Right now, for our time being, is we're going to take our power relay and we're just going to expand it all the way over to that area for now. Just for now. I do over here do want to say that what's the problem with you? Multiple problems. I also over here I do want to add in a couple of parks over here. Kind of like neighborhood stuff to get people to kind of get upgraded land value. Let's get a Japanese garden over here as well. Kind of have like a park on every, like at a common pool over in these areas. And what's this? This is the cat park. You can throw a cat park over there somewhere. Let's throw in our second cat park somewhere over here, away from there, the town, the other cat park. We can throw in a large cinema. It's a cinema. We can throw a large cinema over here for everybody to enjoy. Throw in a couple of flags near Walmart. I think doing a wonderful, lovely couple of flags. We'll throw one down there. It does give everybody that opportunity to move over out and around. I want to see, actually, let's review and see if we can put our city skylines in here somehow. Over here. I think doing that, and then we can kind of throw in commercial on this side of the road. Over here, commercial can live on the edge over here. Having some commercial, but mainly being a suburban. Whoops. Mainly just to be a suburban life out here. I'm just filling up the areas here, and we'll end our episode here because I don't want to be too overstickler on keeping stuff going in our city. So I hope you guys did enjoy this City Skylines episode of our suburban start, or suburban life. That's going to be the title of this. Our first suburb of the city. And I also hope you guys did enjoy the other City Skylines episodes as well as all my videos. So thank you for watching these videos. It helps me great. I will eventually get a Patreon. Eventually, at the moment I haven't been able to. But eventually I'll get one. That you guys can help me support in my life of helping me in that way of letting you guys see good content and letting me, kind of be able to pay my bills and whatever. I don't have bills yet or anything, but that eventually will happen once I get out of my house and once I'm done with school and get a job out of working with radio or whatever for the moment, until I feel like that I want to get this job going. So I hope you guys did enjoy this this video. Like I said, please do, thank you for watching all this, and we'll see you guys later. They'll see.